ఆన్ చేసి వచ్చేస్తా.
Okay, dear students, is it audible? Please message in the chat box. Okay, good morning, students. The next topic in our subject, design and analysis of algorithms, is practical complexities and performance measure. Just see. We have seen that the time complexity of an algorithm is generally some function of an instance characteristics. This function is very useful in determining how the time requirements vary as the instance characteristics change. When there is a change in instance characteristics, then automatically the time requirements also change. The complexity of function can also be used to compare two algorithms. That is, we have P and Q are the two algorithms we are considering. So P and Q are the two algorithms. So that performs the same task. P is doing the same task as whatever the algorithm Q is also doing. That means, for example, you want to find a factorial of a number. Then P is finding the factorial of a number and Q is also finding the factorial of a number. So assume that algorithm P has complexity O of n and algorithm Q has the complexity O of n square. So now see the two algorithms for performing the same task. The algorithm P and algorithm Q. Algorithm P requires O of n time. Algorithm Q requires O of n square time. So we can assert that algorithm P is faster than algorithm Q for sufficiently large n values. So P is faster than Q. Since O of n takes less time comparing with O of n square. So to see the validity of this assertion, observe that the computing time of P is bounded. So from above, by Cn for some constant C and for all n greater than or equal to n1, whereas that of Q is bounded from below by dn square for some constant d and all n. So that is n is greater than nc. So since Cn less than dn square for all n greater than c by d, algorithm P is faster than algorithm Q whenever n is greater than maximum of n1, n2, and c by d. So here we are checking that there are two algorithms. We are saying that two algorithms P and Q. Algorithm P takes time O of n. Algorithm Q takes time O of n square. Then out of these two, the algorithm which takes O of n time will work at a faster rate comparing with the algorithm which takes O of n square. Now see our practical complexities. Always be cautious, aware of the presence of the phrase sufficiently large. What is sufficiently large? In an assertion like that of preceding discussion, when deciding which of the two algorithms to use, so whether to consider which of the two algorithms, that is either P or Q, you must know whether the n you are dealing with is sufficiently large. So we are taking the n. What is n here? The input given to the algorithm. So every algorithm is having the input and output and definiteness, finiteness, effectiveness. So input is also considered. Depending on that also, we have the time requirement. That is time complexity. Okay. In this, we should always consider. So if algorithm P runs in 10 power 6 n milliseconds, whereas the algorithm Q runs in n square milliseconds. So the time now for the algorithms P and Q, so P runs in 10 power 6 n milliseconds, whereas the algorithm Q runs in n square milliseconds. And if you always have n less than or equal to 10 power 6, then other factors being equal, algorithm Q is the one to use. Why? Just check it. The timings, time requirement. Suppose algorithm P is 10 power 6 n milliseconds. Q runs in n square milliseconds. Now take some value which is less than or equal to 10 power 6. So I am taking 10 power 4. Now place or substitute in the place of n. So 10 power 6 into 10 power 4. That is 10 power 10 milliseconds. Now n square. N square means 10 power 4 whole square. That is 10 power 8 milliseconds. Then algorithm Q, which runs in n square milliseconds, which takes 10 power 8 milliseconds. So that is always better than the algorithm P. So to get a feel for how the various functions grow with n, that means by giving the input value n, how the growth of various functions appears. See, the function 2 power n grows very rapidly with n. Since 2 power n is a exponential type function, which takes more time, the growing rate is very high. If an algorithm needs 2 power n steps for execution, then when n equal to 40, now take the value of n as 40. The number of steps needed is 1.1 multiplied by 10 power 12 approximately. On a computer performing 1 billion steps per second. So we are taking the computer, that is CPU, which performs the execution with 1 billion steps per second. So which takes, this would require about 18.3 minutes. So 18.3 minutes of time will be taken by that particular computer, which works on 1 billion steps per second. If n equal to 50, now we are increasing the input size from n equal to 40 to n equal to 50. The same algorithm would run for about 13 days on this computer. Now check the change in input. Since initially or earlier we consider n equal to 40, now we are considering n equal to 50. If it is n equal to 40, the time taken is 18.3 minutes. If it is n equal to 50, if it is n equal to 50, so the same algorithm would run about 13 days. So which takes more time. So if you are increasing the value of n, which takes more amount of time or more number of years also sometimes. So the same algorithm would run for about 13 days on this computer. When n equal to 60, about 310.56 years are required to execute the algorithm. When n equal to 100, about 4 into 10 power 13 years are needed. That means when you increase the size of input, that is n, with 100 value, that is about 4 into 10 power 13 years are taken. So that means more amount of time is needed, many number of years it is taking. If you increase the value of n in the function 2 power n. So we may conclude that the utility of the algorithms with exponential complexity is limited to small n. That means when there is an algorithm that requires exponential complexity of time, exponential time, then for that particular algorithm, the size of n should be less than or equal to 40. Now see this table. We have the function values. We have the function values. Suppose logarithm of n, n log n square, n cube, 2 power n, all these are functions. For example, n equal to 1. N equal to 1 means the input size is 1 for the algorithm. Only one input we are giving. So logarithm of 1, that is 0. So log n is 0. Suppose n log n is 0. So 0 multiplied with 1, you will get n log n as 0. Suppose n square. N square means that is 1 multiplied by 1. So n cube 1. 2 power n, 2 power 1, that is 2. Suppose if the value of n is 2, then what is log n? Log 2 base 2, that is 1. Suppose 2 multiplied by log 2 base 2, that is 2. N is 2, so 2 square is 4. N is 2, so 2 cube is 8. So 2 power 2, that is 4. So when n, the value of n, input size is 2, then the 2 power n value is less than n cube value. But when you increase the size of n, that is the number of inputs, 4, then n log n is 8, n square is 16, n cube is 64, 2 power n is 16. Even though n equal to 4, 2 power n value is less than n cube. When you consider these two functions, 2 power n and n cube. So these are the functions when you are measuring the time complexity of the algorithms. Log n, n log n square, n cube, 2 power n. And we are comparing these functions time values, time complexity values based on the input size n. Just we are varying, we are changing the input size n, and we are getting the values of, we are finding the values of time complexities of these functions. Now see, when n equal to 5, n equal to 32, now we are taking. So log n is 5. N log n is 160. N square is 1024. N cube is, that is 32 cube. Okay, 32,768. Now check the 2 power n value. 2 power n value is very high. So when you compare the various time complexities, at 2 power n, that is the exponential time, it is increasing. With the small change in n value, 2 power n is growing at a fast rate. So always we are considering the algorithms whose time complexity is less than the, generally small time complexity of algorithms we are considering. Less number of time is needed. Less amount of time is needed. Okay, algorithms that have a complexity, that is a polynomial of high degree, are also of limited utility. So for example, if an algorithm needs n power 10 steps. Then using our 1 billion steps per second computer, we need 10 seconds. When n equal to 10, we are considering when n equal to 10. Suppose 3171 years when n equal to 100. See, when n equal to 10, it takes only 10 seconds. When n equal to 100, it takes 3171 years of time. And 3.17 into 10 power 13 years when n equal to 1000. So when the value of n is 1000, it takes the time 3.17 multiplied by 10 power 13 years. So if the algorithm's complexity had been n cube steps instead, then we would need 1 second when n equal to 1000. So 110.67 minutes when n equal to 10,000. So in the same way, we can consider the increase in n causes increase in more requirement of more amount of time or more number of years, depending on the function we are applying. See this graph with the plot of function values. N is the input and f is the function. So x-axis represents the input size from 0 to 10, and y-axis represents the functions for this, how the growing is done, how the growth rate of function is there. Suppose we have log n, log n, n log n, n square, 2 power n. So all these are functions. See the growth rate of each function with the change in value of n. Suppose when the value of n is 8, log n grows slowly. N grows more than the log n. N log n is more than the time required for n, the growing rate. When you consider n square, it is more than the n log n, greater than n log n. When you consider 2 power n function, its growth rate is very high. So 2 power n growth rate is very high. So it takes more amount of time. That means with a small change in increase in value of n, which causes more amount of time is required for running that particular algorithm. So see this table. 1 billion steps per second computer. So we are taking the computer architecture, a CPU. So the performance, that is the ability, is 1 billion steps per second. So gives the time needed by a 1 billion steps per second computer to execute an algorithm of complexity f of n instructions. So you should note that currently only the fastest computers can execute about 1 billion instructions per second. So in the practical viewpoint, evident that for reasonably large n, that is n greater than 100, only algorithms of small complexity, such as n log n, n square, and n cube are feasible. That means when the input size is greater than 100, then only small time complexity algorithms is feasible, are feasible. That is n log n, n square, n cube. Those are good. This is the case even if you could build a computer capable of executing 10 power 12 instructions per second. That is more than billions instructions per second. 10 power 12 instructions. So the computing times are given in the table. You can see decrease by a factor of 1000. When n equal to 100, it would take 3.17 years to execute n power 10 instructions and 4 multiplied by 10 power 10 years to execute. So performance measurement. What is a performance measurement? Is concerned with obtaining the space and time requirements of a particular algorithm. When you consider any algorithm, when you want to run this algorithm, very important 2 points are space complexity and time complexity. What is the time complexity? That is how much amount of CPU time is needed to run an algorithm. What is the space complexity? How much amount of memory, volume of memory is needed to run that particular algorithm. Since we want to store the variables, local variables, if when you consider the function calling statement, return statement, and the status, so all these things are need to be stored. So how much amount of memory is needed? So these things will be considered in the space complexity. So these quantities depend on the compiler and options used, as well as on the computer on which the algorithm is run. So on which computer we are running this algorithm, depending on that, these things may change. So unless otherwise stated, all performance values will be considered are obtained using the CPP compiler. We are considering the GNU CPP compiler as a by default case. Each program is compiled once and then executed several times. So already you know, in the lab, we have compiled a C program. Once it is compiled, then you will get the executable file. Then you can run this file several times, any number of times. You need not compile again the same file which is compiled already. So the space and time needed for compilation are important during the program testing. When more time is spent on this task than in running the compiled code. So measuring the runtime space requirements of a program rather than we focus on measuring the computing time of a program. So to obtain the computing time of a program, suppose when you want to find the runtime or computing time of a program, we need a clocking procedure. So the existence of a program, get time that returns the current time in milliseconds. So get time is a function we are using. So what is the get time that returns the, what is the current time in milliseconds? When you want to find or measure what is the worst case performance of the sequential search algorithm. So worst case performance. So already you know, we have 3 cases, best case, worst case, and average case. Suppose in an array, we want to search an element. Suppose element you found during the searching as the first element, then that is the best case. Suppose element is not found, you are searching continuously in the array, you are reaching the n. So that is a worst case. So before we can do this, we need to decide on the values of n for which the times are to be obtained. Second point is determine for each of the above values of n the data that exhibit the worst case behavior. So sequential search algorithm. See, we are taking the three arguments a, x, n. So search for x in a of 1 to n. In a of 1 to n. That is a is a array. We are taking n number of elements, 1 to n. We want to search for x, element x in the array which consists of n number of elements. A of 0 is the addition space, is used as addition space. Suppose I equal to n. I equal to n means n is the number of elements. We are assigning this one to I. So what is a of 0? That is equal to x. X is the element. We want to search for it. A of 0 equal to x. While a of I not equal to x. So in the while loop, we are checking the condition, testing the condition that a of I not equal to x. That means a of I and x are not the same. Do I equal to I minus 1. So we are decrementing the value of I. So in this way, we are continuously repeating the while loop till the condition is satisfied. Condition is a of I equal to x, not equal to x. Suppose it is not equal to x, you can continue the loop. If it is equal to x, a of I equal to x, that means the required element is found. So searching is completed. We can return the index in the array. That particular element values index x is found. So you can return the index where it is. So the decision on which values of n to use is based on the amount of timing we wish to perform and also on what we expect to do with the times once they are obtained. So simply predict how long it will take in the worst case to search for x. Suppose we want to search for x. Given the size n of A, the array A is the array and size of array A is n. And we want to search for x in the array A. So an asymptotic analysis reveals that this time is theta of n. So that is the average case we are taking. So we expect a plot of the times to be a straight line. If we know the times for any two values of n, for the any two values of n, the straight line is determined. We can obtain the time for all other values of n from this case. So asymptotic here, reasons are there. Some reasons are, first one, asymptotic analysis tells us the behavior only for sufficiently large values of n. For smaller values of n, the runtime may not follow the asymptotic curve. So when you consider the small values of n and sufficiently large values of n, for smaller values of n, runtime may not follow the asymptotic curve. That means when you consider the n, that is smaller values and larger values. Suppose smaller values means the growth rate is smaller. Growth rate is smaller means the time taken by that particular algorithm is smaller comparing with the sufficiently large values of n. So determine the point beyond which the asymptotic curve is followed. We need to examine the times for several values of n. So what are the, suppose if we are taking n equal to 10, Next case, you can take n equal to some 16, next 32, like this. You can find what is the time required for different sizes of n. So where the asymptotic behavior is exhibited. So times may not lie exactly on the predicted curve. So because of the effects of low order terms that are discarded in the asymptotic analysis. For instance, an algorithm with asymptotic complexity theta of n can have time complexity C1n plus C2 log n plus C3. Here C1, C2, C3 are the constant values. For that matter, any other function of n in which the highest order terms is C1n for some constant C1 should be greater than 0. So asymptotic behavior of algorithms 1.17 begins for some n that is smaller than 100, less than 100. For n is greater than 100, if the input size is greater than 100, we obtain the runtime for just a few values. So reasonable choice is n equal to 200, 300, 400, up to 1000. So when you are increasing the size of n, then the time taken by algorithm very high. Okay, this is the important point we need to consider. We have different algorithms. We can find the time complexities of various algorithms. And we want to consider the algorithm which takes smaller values or polynomial functions, less, that is n square or less than or log n type time complexities. Now see just recall the important points. First of all, what is an algorithm? So every algorithm must satisfy the important criteria, that is input, output, definiteness, finiteness, and effectiveness. These are the important criteria already explained in the previous classes. Just consider this one as a revision class. So practical algorithms for the design issues. Choosing an efficient algorithm, that is important. Selecting appropriate data structures. So what are the different data structures we are using? Stacks, queues, arrays, linked lists, graphs, trees. So when you consider all these algorithms, so we are selecting the appropriate data structure. Try to save time, that is time complexity. Try to save space, that is space complexity, memory required or time required for running an algorithm should be saved. So to develop a program of an algorithm, we should select an appropriate data structure for that algorithm. So we have the algorithm plus data structure, that is equal to program. Now performance of a program. How to know the performance of a program? Maybe analytical or experimental. Use analytical methods. Experimental means conduct the experiments. So we are conducting several experiments or the analytical methods. Based on that, we can find the performance of a program. So analyzing an algorithm. So in this case, we have the time complexity and space complexity. So time, what is the time complexity? How much amount of CPU time is needed? What is space complexity? How much amount of memory is needed? These two are very important in analyzing the algorithm. Next, complexity of algorithms. Okay, already explained the complexities of algorithms. The function f of n gives the running time of an algorithm depends not only on the size n of the input data, but also on the particular data. So the complexity function f of n is best case, average case, worst case. We are considering the different cases. Suppose what is a best case? The minimum possible values of f of n is a best case. What is average case? The expected value of f of n. What is worst case? The maximum value of f of n for any key possible input. Suppose when you consider the example, suppose we have the following unsorted list: 45, 39, 8, 54, 77. These are the values. If we are searching for 45, where is 45? That is the first element in our array in the unsorted list. So we will look at one element before success. Now consider the 39. 39, we will look at two elements before success. That means you are comparing the array elements with the required element. Suppose you want 39. Check with the first element. First element is 45, not matched. Check with the second element. Second element is 39. Okay, this is matched. You require a key that is 39. Okay, these two are matched. Okay, good. Two elements before success. Now 8. We will look at three elements before success, since 8 is the third element. In the same way, 54 and 77 also. These elements are placed at 4th and 5th position. So to find this one, so for any element not in the list, we will look at 5 elements before failure. That means we need to do 5 comparisons to find the element. That is very important. Now space complexity. Instruction space, data space, and environmental stack space. We have the space needed when you are executing a program or running an algorithm. The space is needed. For which purpose the space is needed? For storing the data, for storing the instructions, for the maintaining the stack. We are maintaining the stack and the activation records. So this space is also needed. Environmental stack space. Now see the efficiency classes. Already explained. One is constant value. Log n means logarithmic value. N linear type. N log n means n log n is a n multiplied by log n. And a linear and logarithmic, this one. N squared, quadratic type, equation type. N cube, cubic algorithm. 2 power n, exponential time it will take. Factorial of n, factorial. So what is the rate of growth of the algorithms? Time complexities, asymptotic time complexity. We consider already big O notation, big omega notation, big theta notation. These are the 3 notations we consider. So already explained, big O notation works as a upper bound, big omega notation works as a lower bound, big theta notation works as a medium one, average one. So rate of growth. Rate of growth means how the particular curve of the function, or what is the growth rate of that particular function. is there. Suppose T of n is equal to big O of f of n. Pronounced order of big O. We are saying this one as a big O. Says that the growth rate of T of n is less than or equal to that of f of n. So T of n is the time complexity. It is less than or equal to f of n. So T of n should be less than or equal to the function f of n, that is in the case of big O notation. In the case of omega notation, pronounced omega says that the growth rate of T of n is greater than or equal to that of g of n. So greater than or equal to g of n, this one, omega notation. In the omega notation, we are taking the greater than or equal to. In the big O notation, we are taking less than or equal to. Suppose T of n equal to theta of h of n, pronounced theta, says that the growth rate of T of n equals the growth rate of h of n. And T of n is equal to omega of h of n. T of n equal to big O of h of n, and T of n equal to omega of h of n. So that is theta of h of n. So equal to value we are considering here, T of n equals. Now compare these three. Big O notation, in big O notation, we are taking the less than or equal to that of f of n. In the omega notation, we are taking greater than or equal to that of g of n. In the theta of h of n notation, it is in between big O notation and omega notation values, medium values. Searching and sorting techniques. So what is a searching? We want to find an element in the list. That is a searching. Searching is used to find the location where an element is available. Okay, searching techniques are linear search, linear or sequential search, binary search, Fibonacci search. So in searching, we have three types of techniques: linear search, binary search, Fibonacci search. Already studied about these three searching techniques in our data structure subject. When you consider binary search, this is a very important searching technique. But the requirement precondition is that the elements should be in order. So variables low and high we are taking. Starting index of list and high means ending index of list. X equal to element to be searched. A is the list or area. Now calculate the mid position, low plus high by 2. We are taking the low value and high value, and we are dividing it to get the midpoint or mid element or mid position of the array of elements. Check if X is less than A of mid, then checking will be on left of high equal to mid minus 1. Otherwise, checking will be on right of low equal to mid plus 1. So the process continues till the element found or not found. When you consider the time complexity of linear sets, it is O of log n. So when you consider this binary sets, we are comparing with the mid position. If it is less than value, then we will go for left part. Otherwise, we can go for right part. We can continue the same searching way. So we have the binary search already studied in data structure subject. Fibonacci search, next one. So important formula in Fibonacci search is f of n plus 1 equal to f of n plus f of n minus 1. So when you want to find the present element, then you need to consider previous two elements and sum it. Then you will get the present position element value you will get. already know about Fibonacci search. In the sorting, arrangement of elements in ascending or in descending order. We have selection sort, quick sort, merge sort, bubble sort, radix sort, like this different sorting techniques are there. Okay, dear students, thank you. If you have any doubts, you can contact me whenever you want. Okay, thank you. Bye. Students, చెప్పండి. సార్ అంటే ప్రస్తుతం కొన్ని ఆన్లైన్ జరుగుతున్నాయి సార్. ఆన్లైన్ సార్ క్లాస్ ఏంటి ఆన్లైన్ ఆఫ్లైన్ క్లాసు ఆన్లైన్ ఆఫ్లైన్ ఒక్కరోజే సార్ వారానికి ఒక్కరోజే సార్ వారానికి ఒక్కరోజే ఇంకో అవర్ ఇప్పుడు సార్ పాస్పోర్ట్ సార్